This book is not only a way that I express my humor and storytelling, and also the 2024 election, but it's also a way that I can explain to kids that are very young in a simple and funny way how politics gets people feeling and why it's so important in today's world.
Today we have a special guest with me, Adam Musselmani, and his mom, Raina. I have such a warm place in my heart for Adam. This is a young man who loves writing and who has an imagination that is just incredible. Humor, I love his stories. My grandkids love the stories. And he is now getting ready to publish book number 3 at the age of 12. Adam, I'm so glad to have you here. Tell me a little bit more about what got you started on writing.
I feel like my entire life I've had passion for creative writing, coming up with my own stories, my own plots, adding little twists to them, making them interesting. Before I began to write my first book, when I was 4 years old, preschool, around that time, what sparked the idea was the thought of inanimate objects coming to life, jumping everywhere, making a huge mess in the kitchen, and that really just sparked the idea for VIP Fruits. And after I published VIP Fruits, there were holidays and events like Christmas that inspired me to write my second book, VIP Fruits: A Beautiful Christmas. And then it just went on from that until now, until I recently published my third book.
Love it. Where does the inspiration come from?
Ooh, that's a good question. It's mostly my imagination, but a big thing, in my opinion, there was one instance when I was in fourth grade. I'm in seventh now, so that was 3, 4 years ago. We had this English homework, and we had to like write this story in our journals, just about really anything, creative writing. I was really enjoying writing. I was getting into it. And so I wrote this story about a banana named Joe. And so Joe lived in this mushroom village. His friend was a strawberry, and his other friend was an apple. And the story was discussing and narrating Joe's life and how he was grateful for all the things that he had in this life and how he was feeling so blessed. I would press the return button in between each paragraph, so I would leave a space. And once I printed it all out, there were spaces between the paragraphs, and I would draw these pictures that depicted and described the mushroom village and whatever I really felt like drawing. And so that was really one of the huge sparks that gave me the idea of VIP Fruits. A banana not named Joe, but named Albert. A strawberry, not a side character, but the main character, Barry. And an apple named Dave. And so that was the main spark.
So tell us about this third book, the newest one that came out. I just was laughing hysterically the first time I saw the cover, and I could tell that it came from your imagination, and it is just so much fun.
I designed this cover myself, and what really got me to write this book was the upcoming 2024 United States presidential election. So I really saw that as an opportunity to write a book not directed towards adults who are typically in this modern world the target audience for politics, but targeted towards an audience of children, maybe my age, younger, because the main point of this book is to simplify the emotions and drives that people feel, especially in political competitions, to win. And so this book is not only a way that I express my humor and storytelling, and also the 2024 election, but it's also a way that I can explain to kids that are very young in a simple and funny way how politics gets people feeling and why it's so important in today's world and why it's just very significant to many of the political leaders.
I love it. It's Parker the Pickle, is that right? Who has the Donald Trump hairdo and all of that stuff. I love it. I just think it is so creative. Kids are going to love it. Tell us, when is it going to be available? How can people find it?
It's available right now, and you can purchase it on Amazon, BarnesandNoble.com, soon to be in stores at Barnes and Noble. You can get the Kindle version, online versions, anywhere where books are sold. You can purchase this copy of the book, as well as the other two of the VIP Fruit series.
Is
Um,
this the third and final book in the series, or do you have others coming, Adam?
as unfortunate as it seems, this is the final book of the series. And the reason for that is I just want to move on to a more mature level of writing. And this series was an inspiration for my very young and innocent mind. And I feel like now that I've matured more, it's time that I write books that are directed towards a slightly older audience. And so that's
Mhm.
the kind of writing and literature I want to start producing.
Amazing. Tell us and tell the other parents that are here, how did you encourage this kind of creativity, and what can parents do to foster this in our own kids?
Hello, April. Thank you so much for having me and Adam. As always, you have been an amazing support for every indie author nowadays, and we're so grateful for you. Actually, it all happened by accident. During the pandemic, I discovered that Adam has the talent of storytelling. I said, you know what? I'm not going to let this go. I'm going to encourage him. And if he's going to be able to produce a good piece of literature, I'm going to do everything I can in my power to publish it for him.
Yeah. Now, one of the things that I think is really unique with Adam and how this came together is that he was involved every step of the way. When he started, he was 8.
He was 8 years old when he finished his first draft. But then he knew that the most important thing about writing is editing. He edited and added more ideas and fixed the manuscript. I'm so proud of him. I hope he can continue writing.
Yeah, I just want to applaud your efforts and the support you've shown to Adam. Adam, can you talk a little bit about going through the editing process with Joanne Skye?
It's a myth that editing is some short, brief fixing up of the first draft. Editing, if you want to produce incredible final draft compared to the first draft, you have to go through multiple rounds of editing, and you have to make sure that all the grammar, not only the grammar, but the plot, it makes sense, it flows well. There's so many aspects to editing that you just have to get right, because there's one that's for grammar and spelling, and another round could be for fluidity in the chapters. So each round of editing, there's 3, maybe even 4 rounds of editing. Each round we focus on a certain aspect of the book. So yeah.
Joanne played a huge role, and we would go back and forth together, elaborate more on things. And Adam, sometimes he has his own opinion. Joanne has her own opinion, but at the end, it all worked out really fine.
Yes. I'm looking at the comments in the chat. Totally love this. Congratulations, and how inspiring. So awesome. I think, Adam, you're going to be inspiring a lot of kids. And what you've accomplished is something that, gosh, 95% of the world can't say, even adults. Let's shift gears and talk about the illustrations. I would love to hear from your perspective about that partnership between the two of you.
Me and my illustrator have had a very good relationship throughout my writing journey. Her name is Laura Liberator, and she has been illustrating with me along this whole ride, and it's really been amazing. She is something else when it comes to drawing. The attention to detail that she puts into her work, it's absolutely phenomenal. And there's not one thing that I would change about her work. Her use of colors, her facial expressions, and the characters, It's just
It's
amazing.
not easy to capture humor in the way that the two of you have in this series. So I agree, it's a special relationship.
Yeah.
As I watch your growth and your development, one thing that I really see is how much you've blossomed as an author, also as a marketer, and how confident and well-spoken you are. How has this process helped you to grow in confidence?
Of course, each day I'm trying to do better, putting my book out there, marketing. The main use of marketing that I have is through social media, mainly on Instagram. And I post relating to my book probably 1, 2 times a week. And I just really want to not be too serious in my marketing. I want to add some playfulness and humor in there. People get the gist. They understand, oh, this is a humorous author who's published a funny book. So that's, yeah, but all the time, I'm just trying to think of better ways to market. And of course, I can improve on marketing. All of us can improve on marketing. And that's what I'm trying to do at the moment right now.
Yeah, I think that you are going to be quite an inspiration for others and in just helping kids learn how to take what they love and use their imagination and get out there. I can hear your elevator pitch about your book and where they can buy it and all of the special things that have made you the author that you are today. And I just want to say, Adam, I am so very proud of you. And I'm so happy to have been a part of this journey. Many of you will be looking for, where can I get this? So Adam, share a little bit about how people can follow you, social media. I'll put the link to the book in the chat as well for those who are interested in grabbing it.
Yeah, so you can follow me on Instagram, simply Adam Musselmani, and the same thing on Facebook.
What would you say for the kids who are thinking about writing?
It's as simple as just taking out a piece of paper and just jotting down ideas, and you just take it from there. Many people they're not sure where to start. It doesn't necessarily matter where you take your first step. It doesn't matter how large that first step is, as long as you take a first step. That started for me when I was 7 years old. But what's important is that I took a step towards writing, whether it's a book or a screenplay, and I used that as an opportunity to pursue writing. And so, as long as you just take that first step, you'll find your way no matter what.
I love that. And Raina, any parting words from your perspective for those who have creative kids like yours?
Yeah, you know what? I think it's very important. I think every child has a talent somehow, somewhere. I'm a mother of 4 children, and my children are so different with their talents. It can be music, it can be art, it can be dance. It is so worth it to give them our time and attention. Make it fun. Make it something that he really wants to hold them responsible for accomplishing their talent. And you are the person who's in the back, pushing them forward little by little.
Yeah, you inspired, you encouraged. And I think that watching that creativity unfold and the growth is just inspiring to so many. So thank you both for sharing your
Thank you.
story with us today. I'd like to open it up for Q&A. So does anybody have questions for Raina or for Adam?
So my question for you is, how were you able to keep the reader engaged
I see.
from chapter to chapter, basically?
Yeah. So the fluidity and
Very good questions. How I stay fluid throughout the chapters. I normally don't worry about fluidity too much when I'm working on my first draft. I would worry about fluidity mostly while I'm editing. I'll try to write a good story, but if I see something isn't very fluid in the chapter, beginning and middle, whatever, I would make a few tweaks, but I wouldn't make any huge major changes unless it's absolutely necessary.
did your editor Joanne Sky also help you with identifying those issues
Without her, the book would not be where it is. Joanne helped me a lot. She was an amazing editor. I humbled myself, I listened to her advice, and I made the changes in the book that she told me. But of course, if I had my own opinion, I would politely discuss it with her. We would go over it, come to an agreement, and that would be that.
Mhm. And even as a young man, you were able to listen, but also assert yourself. And that's very rare for adults, never mind for an 8, 9, 10, 11-year-old. Jennifer says, Adam, you are definitely going places. You are so intelligent and well-spoken and have accomplished so much already. Best wishes for you on your writing journey. Also, Josie's asking, Adam, what's the age group for your books?
The VIP Fruit series, anybody can read it, any age group. But the target audience for me is similar to the age that I started writing the books.
Mhm.
When I was 8, I started writing VIP Fruits. I was targeting people around my age because they have humor that's like mine. Anywhere my age or under.
Nice. So Adam, what's next for you in your writing career?
What's next for me is moving on from the VIP Fruit series. And like I mentioned before, I feel like it's time that I start writing books that I want to stick to the fictional niche, like adventure, things like that, creative, made up, somewhat unrealistic stories that people can relate to, but on a more mature level. My age right now and up.
This is great. And I thank you so much for being here, Adam, and for sharing your story and inspiring us.
Thank you so much, Ms. Cox, for this opportunity. Not only this interview, but the others and just working with you. So I just like to thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure.
Thank you, April.